What's up, Starcraft fans? This video is brought to you by ShadowArchon, who is supporting the Pulse Cannon tier. Pulse Cannon tier supporters or higher are guaranteed one video redemption per month as long as it is Starcraft 2 co-op related. He requested another Nexus Coop video. This time we will do Nafash as he requested. So again, if you want to go to Nexus Coop, click Custom, Arcade, search Nexus Coop, click the orange icon, load the game. It'll take a few seconds. And then, load the lobby first. Load the lobby, of course. Then start the game. It'll do a countdown, 10 seconds. Then you'll get to this screen where you can read all about it. Again, Chinese creators is translated. So we will do Nafash. You can pause if you want to read any of these. Or you can just, go there. Alright, we're doing Nafash. For the first game... Oh yeah, here are the masteries. I think for the first game... we will do... Yeah, this is... you're gonna see the second game I ever played with Nafash. For the first game... we'll do Void Launch. So, the way Nafash, well, I guess you will see on the replay. Yeah. So yeah, you can read here Nafash's story. Basically, she was the Broodmother when she was the Broodmother Kerrigan was trying to contact. When she first went to Kaldir, she discovered that Nafash was actually dead, and that's basically her story. But apparently, the Nexus Coop guys found a way to expand her. Here are Nafash's upgrades. You can read it here. Pause if you want to read. Here we go. Yes. Bunch of stuff. So, yeah. Masteries. I believe I went for this rapid intrusion. All the time. Oh, I went for Cerberus Locust Duration in the first game. That's definitely what I went for. And gigantic subject damage in the first game, which might have been the correct choice for both games. Yeah, I went for these two bottom ones in the first game. So we'll see the replay of the first game. Okay, so yeah. So she starts with a Cerberus hive. I don't exactly know how she came tied with Cerberus things, but she has this Cerberus AI thing where you can configure your top bar. So her top bar, you can place a certain buff on these Cerberus nodes. So she works very differently from any commander you've ever known in real co-op. So, whenever you play Nafash, these things called Cerberus nodes are scattered all around the map. You can kind of control them by using this this steal thing, this AI takeover thing. And you can chain them like spreading creep. So creep spreads by having control of these Cerberus nodes. And whenever you have control of Cerberus nodes, you can use it to control other Cerberus nodes. You can kind of chain them all throughout the map by using the steal thing. You can either the Cerberus hive or the nodes themselves can steal other nodes. They cost money, but they're relatively cheap earlier on. I think it's 20 mils at the beginning, gets to 30, gets to 50, and it gets higher from there. So once you have control of these Cerberus nodes, you can actually activate them. By clicking this hotkey here, and now when activated, it can actually spawn these locusts, which will be their own defense. Although, for my one game experience, you only really need to activate one at a time. You can see the active ones by looking at the minimap. These little dots, these little blue dots here, the circular things, show which ones are active. So, the only ones you want to have active are the ones you actually want to fight, because if they're active, they will gain these locust charges. So you want to have the locust charges all on the active ones. You want to deactivate the ones that are not fighting, so that they'll give the locust charges to the ones that need to be fighting, so that'll have more locusts. Started that Cerberus hive, so I activate. I think this one. Yeah, I activate this one. Approach Zerg. So you can see that you can actually just keep spreading, keep spreading these Cerberus node control. The more Cerberus nodes you control, the more vision you have, the more creep. And I'm not sure, but I think you also have more locust charges. Locust charge production. So, I got this evolution chamber where you can upgrade 3 things. The first one is actually the movement speed of locusts, so that they'll be able to get to the front more quickly. The second is attack damage. The third one is armor. So, Nafash is another top bar. This Cerberus Precursor, which is basically a giant immortal, which does a lot of damage. It's pretty good. So you just want to have that active as often as you can. It's like an apocalypse. It's pretty good. It has 22 kills already at like 4 minutes into the game. It's quite effective. Look at it, just doing all that damage. It's pretty incredible. So behind that, you can see I'm still spreading these Cerberus nodes. And yeah, of course, we have another top bar, the Cerberus Omegalisk. It's a giant Ultralisk basically, and it kind of just whacks everything. It's pretty good. Between the 2 top bars, the Precursor and the Omegalisk, you can actually smash entire bases with just top bars. It's kind of like Overmind, except you also have the option to go for units if you want to, which you probably should. Again, this is my 2nd game ever of Nafash, so I'm still trying to kind of figure out how this commander plays, but I've learned that you can actually do really well by just spam and control these Cerberus nodes. You can just have more creep all around the map, and the ones that are active, they will gain more and more charges of these locusts. That has 4 locust charges already. It'll gain more over time. Try to control these Cerberus nodes. You can see, they're dotted all over the map. They're pre-spawn whenever you play as Nafash. Getting more of these minerals. The controlling the nodes costs minerals, so I actually want to have more of them. So I also made the Cerberus network, which allow me to summon these worms, which contain pre-spawned Zerglings and Veilings, and later on Hydralisks. So you can have a maximum of 5 charges of these Nidus networks, which I actually learned from this game. So once you deploy them, you can just unload these units. They do have Hydralisks from the beginning. So just unload all these and they'll basically clean up any attack wave that's not a mutation. Getting more control. Good. See, this thing already has 4 charges and it's active. It'll spawn automatically if it's under threat, but I called down the Precursor, the Immortal dude. This base, it smashes everything. So you can see that I've started to deploy these powers on the Cerberus nodes. I don't know which one I'm using it on right now, but guys, for those who are more experienced in Nafash, do comment down below which of these abilities is the most effective one. I'm just trying out stuff. I don't really know which one's the best. I like the Veilings one because it's kinda intuitive to use. Spawn Veilings, enemies die. Pretty simple. I haven't used this explosion one yet. From what I understand, it kind of self-destructs the node, and I'm not sure if you can use it over and over again. It's really OP if you can, but I haven't tried. So I use more of these Omega Worms, or these Cerberus worm thingies. I have 3 done. I have another one on the way. Just kind of making more of them as I'm getting more gas. Use another worm over here. Just in time for that attack wave. Activate these ones to spread locusts. So I'm actually just fighting using locusts. That's all I'm fighting with, to be honest. I use it to smash these shuttles. And when they get too far, I activate a further one. And yeah, I activate that one. That's gonna spawn locusts. This thing will die.
Shuttles are no more.
Alright.
Well done, warriors. Well
So,
done indeed.
you can see I now have 2 charges of worms. That means I have great offensive potential. I spawn another Nidus worm, I spawn another Cerberus Nidus worm here. And yeah, they're pretty effective in just deleting attack waves as long as they're ground based. I got pretty lucky here that I got a roach based wave. Otherwise I would have needed units. I haven't made any units, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Everything I'm attacking with is a top bar. Or a Cerberus node. That's actually all I'm using in this game. I make Queens later on, but you know, they're support. They're not actual fighting units. So yeah, I just have this activated. It'll continuously spawn these locusts. I should probably deactivate this one a bit ago, but that's fine. And just continue smashing. So I'm making the Cerberus hive here, under the impression that I will actually need more mineral income later on to capture these later Cerberus nodes. Now let me see myself zooming around here, taking more control of these Cerberus nodes. Yeah, that's how I found Nafash works. Just control more and more nodes, get more and more vision, get more and more creep spread, and then when one node is under attack, you activate it, and it'll spawn these locusts. Yeah, it can have all active all at once, but you know, I haven't confirmed it whether this actually is true, but the more nodes you have active, the less dense they are in terms of having locusts. I'm not sure if that's true, but that seems like an intuitive thing to have happen. To kind of deactivate the ones that are no longer needed. Again, I have the Nidus orbs just delete all the waves. My goodness, look how effective they are in deleting waves. They're just so great. So I activate this Cerberus precursor again, the immortal dude. It just deletes this thing. My goodness. I have this queen over here. This queen actually injects locusts onto this hive, which basically I think allows the hive to defend itself. Pretty good ability to have.
Research vessel ready. Let's get a team to that shrine.
And just smash this thing. Is it further take control of the space? I'm trying to find a node here that I can connect to. Like this area, I haven't been able to find any node that I can chain to get control of this area. So I think the plan here is to plop down another hive here, and then you'll get vision of the further nodes here. Otherwise, maybe just put down another node here or something, so I can actually connect. But yeah, you can see I have activated these ones. And they're just continue spawning locusts. That's a lot of locusts. That's actually a lot of locusts to spawn. My goodness. Look how effective they are. It's basically swarm hosts that cost only minerals. That's awesome. Look at that, just deleting the shuttle. Yeah, Zerg's attacking here, so I activate this. Okay, now look, I did activate the bailing thing, and it just spawns free bailings for me. That's pretty great. Activate these ones as well. Attack wave coming over here. You see the arrows redirecting where the locusts go. I think. I think that's what the arrows show. Again, this is my second ever game as Nafash. I'm just trying stuff out. Just spreading that all around. Okay. I'm starting to, just spawn camp. I'm just making more of these hive things, The hive things will also produce locusts. They're kind of like static defense that you have queens with. Yeah, I think that's how it works. Of course, Nafash has her own static defense, the worm thing, which works kind of like the Hawk's worm minus the deep tunnel. So they're actually static defense. Okay, so I activate these nodes to spawn locusts to fight that shuttle wave. I also activate these ones.
Another wave of shuttles is headed for a warp conduit.
See, I'm trying to whack more of these things.
Our response will have to be just as swift.
You can see they are. Oh wait, they're not spawning locusts. I think they did spawn once. This one at least spawned once. Yeah. Now that the shuttles here are destroyed, I deactivated the nodes. Well, this crafter's, I think, a kind of out of range. It's kind of annoying. But that's fine. I'll just delete this last shuttle. And that's that.
Confirm the shuttle's destruction.
We have contained the target successfully.
There we go. Okay, now there's an attack wave here. So just summon a worm there.
Our foe is
The worm on
making
top,
a move.
and delete this whole
Be
thing.
ready.
Make this whole thing not a thing. Yeah, top arc is so good. They're so good. Alright. I believe I should activate this at some point.
Let's make this one count.
Trying to get a drone here. Okay, I finally do. Yeah, I think this is what I need to use to activate these further ones. Got another queen out. Yeah, these queens I think will inject more locusts, which will improve the static defensibility of these hives. Sure. Yeah, I just have these drones here. I'm floating lots of money. I might as well make a bunch of these Cerberus hives. I'm making right on top of Amon. It's probably not the best choice. Also, this Megalisk I learned doesn't shoot up like Apocalypse does.
Its current trajectory indicates it is attempting to flee.
Okay, now I activate these nodes. I just kind of yeah. Now that I have a hive here, I can actually use it to capture these nodes. I cancel this one before it dies. I think it's a good call. I just captured more and more of these nodes. I spread them out. In hindsight, I probably should have saved this a Megalisk for this wave thing here. I do of course delete this one
Forces en route to our
pretty quickly. This one is a little stronger. I wasn't actually able to defeat it with a single Megaworm spawn or a Nidus Worm spawn. Yeah, you can see these Cerberus hives are actually, yes, they're spawning locusts. Fortunately, the queens died, so they can't actually spawn that quickly. Still, we are using these nodes here to defend themselves by activating them. This will spawn a lot of locusts. I eventually deflected them.
Shuttles have been destroyed.
Confirmed. We've
And of course, I'm still going on offense. I'm making these Cerberus hives here to gain further vision of these nodes that I want to take control over.
I was worried for a moment there.
Of course, these ones I already made. I just moved in here so I can spawn camp this area of the last set of shuttles. It's pretty effective. Yeah, you can see I activated these 4, these 5. Delete this. It's going fast. It goes down. It goes down pretty fast. It was being targeted down by a lot of these locusts. I'm just doing mass locusts this game. I haven't made any of the actual units. That'll be for next game. Do not worry. I just my goodness. Just look at how fast these shuttles go down.
Split our forces to stop them all.
Leviathan's down, and the last shuttle also quickly go down. Yeah. My goodness. It's pretty effective. The locusts are pretty effective. My goodness.
A well-deserved victory.
That was all top bar. That was all top bar. and buildings. That's how effective these are for Nafash. So let's move on to the second game. Second game, we're doing a bit of Hammerland. You can see it's void flashing, and once again I have these nodes spread around. So I'm actually going to make units this game. I was actually going to make only units, but I figured later on I would start flowing a lot of minerals. So I would begin taking the Cerberus nodes anyway. I have no idea how any of these Cerberus things are related to Nafash. I don't know why she has a Locust or a Swarm Host for a base. I don't know why she has a Cerberus AI. I don't know why she has a Cerberus node. None of these appeared in the campaign. Maybe there's some backstory with Nafash in one of the Starcraft books that I have never encountered in my life. But yeah, currently it's just a commander for me. Like a fantasy commander with no actual story. As far as I know. Again, I'm probably wrong here, but I don't know anything about Nafash's story. Interesting thing is that if the nodes are in the fog of war, they actually don't show. That's not how buildings normally behave. Buildings normally behave by being visible in the fog of war. Also, I forgot to mention this in the first game, but our extractors are automatic. They have these little firefly things that I think are the harvesters. They give the guy. They don't need to drone them up. They just harvest automatic, which is great. So yeah, I kind of just fast expand here, and then I'll try to take control of this node, and have that yeah, spread these locusts. Pretty effective. Deletes these rocks pretty quickly. One other set. They're pretty good at deleting the rocks quickly. Okay, this time I made a spire because I like the fascist overlords. Her overlords are pretty funny to use because they throw banelings. They just literally throw banelings at the enemy. Get these down. I will need more gas in this mission. That's why I'm trying to get these gases. The overlord has been made. They try to fight these rocks. The annoying thing about Nexus Coop, or one of the annoying things, aside from the hotkeys, is that the rocks are neutral. So when you attack them with the overdude, you siege this guy up. The overdude can only attack when you siege it up by pressing this button over here. And then once it's activated, it will launch a baling at the rocks. But you can see I had to manually select the baling and right-click the rocks because yeah, the balings do not actually auto-target the rocks. That's kind of annoying. So instead, I just manually control that. Here is the Immortal. So 1v1 Immortals aren't great against Zerglings. The good news is that the Cerberus Precursor is very much not a 1v1 Immortal. It's pretty bonkers. I siege this guy up. You can see it's going to launch Balings at the enemy. It's a great effect. Balings are pretty good. You probably want these overdudes defending your base in dead of night. It shoots Balings pretty fast. It has a funny motion too. Like it unloads a Baling, it lobs it at the enemy. It's like a bile launcher, except it launches more frequently and it has auto targeting capability. I start a Cerberus hive here, so I can have forward production. Because yeah, the Cerberus hives produce both the drones and the army. So if you want to have forward production, you actually don't need to do that. Actually, I learned that this game you can actually directly control, you can directly rally your army by using this ability, this C thing here, and then assigning an active Cerberus node. So once a node has been activated, the units will spawn there automatically once you produce them from the Cerberus hives. Yeah, you can see these overdudes just lobbing these banelings at the enemy. you're just throwing these banelings. This looks fun, to be honest. Just deleting these things. More overdudes on the way. Now you can see I'm starting to produce these Agent 17s. I don't know why I can produce many Agent 17s, but technically only one of them should be Agent 17. Like the rest should be 18, 19, 20 or something, but that's here nor there. You can see I'm producing these bases. The Sormos looking things are actually the bases, the Cerberus hives. Produce this thing. Okay, now now I have Agent 17. He should be going out here. So he's basically a ghost dude, but he doesn't have an auto attack. The interesting thing about the overdudes and Agent 17 is that they don't auto attack. You need to siege them for them to have an attack, and they have two modes. This first mode, this green one on the right, this light green one, attacks mechanical targets, and this middle one, the yellow thing, shoots biological targets. So when you're fighting Zerg, you only want to be on this yellow one. That's the only one that actually does damage. The Cerberus Overlord, of course, just throws banelings at the enemies. It shoots only ground, so it's like a siege tank. Of course, it's liable to bug out. You see, the Overlord's targeting. The Overlord's targeting the spore, but the banelings don't want to fight the spore. They want to fight units. This is a great call, I think. Okay. Yeah, the Morlude pretty great. It has 47, 48 kills, 49. It's pretty effective. I fly these overlords from here and then start lobbing banelings. Just deleting this whole base. You can see that I'm starting to control these nodes. I get the idea that I'm supposed to be controlling them by how many minerals I'm floating. Initially I was like, oh yeah, I need to certain minerals to make the mineral heavy units, but eventually learned that, oh yeah, my minerals are floating. I have 4 minerals. I actually make a lot of minerals, so I just use it just to control these Cerberus nodes. So now I'm making units alongside my nodes, so I actually should unsiege these. They cannot move while they're sieged. I don't know what the status is here. Are they close? I have no idea. I used a top here. I think it was Omegalus. It just deleted everything up to here. So now the Thrashers have actually spawned, and they're doing things. They're whacking the fortress.
Understood. We need to protect the objective at all costs.
I fly these dudes over here. Just start lobbing these banelings at the enemy. It's actually pretty useful that the banelings don't want to target the spore. Yeah, because it actually gives the Overlord a target, you know. Agent 17s, meanwhile, just deleting everything. They have 100 damage or so. I believe it's 100 damage. It's pretty effective. It just kind of deletes everything. So one thing I noticed about Nafash is that I don't really know what the detector is. I can make infestors, I can make vipers, but I don't think either of those are detectors. So the only way for me currently is by controlling these Cerberus nodes. These Cerberus nodes are detectors, you can see right here. But I actually can't connect this node to this node. It's actually out of range. I can't control it. So what I have to do, I think, is put down a hive, a Cerberus hive over here, and control these nodes, so I can have detection over here. Yeah, I honestly have no idea how any of these nodes, these hives, these Agent 17s are lore related in any way. They probably are from the from a short story or something, or from a Starcraft story, from a novel maybe. But Haven't read those. Okay, now I start controlling these nodes to give myself detection. I just manually detonate those banelings to destroy the swarm host. Control more of these nodes. Activate this node to fight off that wave. Pretty effective. Yeah, it's pretty effective. Just deletes this whole thing. My goodness. Look how effective these things are. I also use the bailing thing on here, by the way. It's spawning banelings. The banelings are pretty good at fighting ground-based enemies, and the locusts are the ones fighting these scourge. And it's pretty effective. You can see the enemy being bailing scourge is pretty easily deleted by the banelings. And these scourge, this guy is gonna be shot down pretty quickly. Yeah, fly over here, and this is gonna activate the locust spawn here. Just delete that. Instead of trying to fight this this bonus using the Agent 17s, I'm not sure whether these things are actually shooting. It's gonna get deleted promptly by these locusts. Yeah. My goodness. Oh wait, I think that was the ghosts. Yeah, this Q ability. The Q ability of the ghosts, basically it works like Crooked Sam's grenade. So the Crooked Sam's detonation charge deploys after a period of waiting, and then deals incredible amounts of damage. That's basically what this Q ability is. We'll just have these. You can see these Agent doing real good work. The Viper, of course, being annoying. It used Disabling Cloud. The Viper actually hard counters the units pretty hard because they're all siege. But that's fine. I can just move them out of the way, or I can spread them out so that it takes more than one Disabling Cloud to cloud everything. Just taking control of these Cerberus nodes. You can see I actually should have been doing that from the beginning. I didn't know. This is my third game ever as Nafash, so you know. I'm learning on the fly. I use a Megalisk and Immortal Dude. They'll whack everything in sight pretty effectively. Yeah. And meanwhile, these Agent 17s are just sieging from range. I siege them up over here, and they'll start deleting everything. Look at how fast that that Thrasher goes down. My goodness, it doesn't even last 10 seconds into the game. Meanwhile, the Omegalisk is deleting everything here. And this Immortal Dude also dealing tremendous amounts of damage. Infestor doing its thing. Meanwhile, the Ghost Boy Agent 17 siege, they just delete everything. They just smash everything. Is this in range? No, that's 20 range. One of the masteries of Nafash is increase the range of Agent 17 and Infestors. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I just with increased range, just shooting down these things pretty quickly. That's game. And there it is. The unit's pretty effective. Agent 17s, they have tremendous single target damage. When they're like Liberators, except they also shoot up. So, yeah, pretty effective. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea of what else to do, please leave that in a comment. I guess the way you play Nafash, from the few games from the 3 games I've played, is you take control of the nodes. They're pretty good at defending themselves if you activate them. You use units